Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I want to talk to you today about something we've all experienced, something that can feel like a heavy weight on your spirit, the person who only comes around when they want to use you. You see, these people don't value you for who you are. No, they see you as a tool, something to be picked up and put down when it suits them. And if you don't recognize it early, you'll find yourself running on empty, pouring out everything you have while they're filling their cup and walking away. There's a certain kind of person we've all encountered at some point in our lives. They're the ones who always seem to need something. You know the type. They show up when they need a favor or when they're in a bind, but when you look back, you realize they're never around during your own highs or lows. They're absent when you could use a hand or a kind word, but the moment they're in need, they pop up like clockwork. It's not friendship, it's not loyalty, it's convenience. These people don't check in just to see how you're doing. No, their interactions are transactional. Every phone call, every text, every visit comes with a hidden agenda. At first, you might not notice it. Maybe you think they genuinely want to be part of your life, but as time goes on, you start to see the pattern. They don't celebrate your victories. When you're winning, they're nowhere to be found. When you're struggling, they're silent. But the moment they need something from you, whether it's your time, your money, your connections, they're right there, acting like they've been there all along. And here's the thing, people like that are experts at making you feel needed. They have a way of showing up with their problems and making you feel like you're the only one who can help. They play on your kindness, your desire to be there for others. It's flattering at first, isn't it? It feels good to be needed, to be the one who can fix things, but over time it becomes draining. You give, and then you realize they're not really there for you. They're there for what you can do for them. It's important to understand that this kind of behavior is not about mutual support. It's about them seeing you as a resource. They take, but they don't give. When you need advice, they're too busy. When you need support, they vanish. Their presence in your life is conditional on what you can offer. And when they've gotten what they need, they disappear until the next time something comes up. The sad part is, these people don't even realize how transparent their actions are. They think they're clever, but after a while you start to see through them. Their pattern becomes predictable, and their motives clear. You can't build a genuine connection with someone who only views you through the lens of utility. The truth is, real relationships are built on reciprocity. They're built on showing up for each other, not just when it's convenient, but especially when it's not. When someone is only present when they need something, that's not a relationship, it's exploitation. There's a certain kind of praise that doesn't sit right. It's the kind that feels more like a sales pitch than a genuine compliment. These are the people who shower you with flattery, but if you listen closely, their words don't carry any real weight. They'll tell you how great you are, how talented, how valuable, but the praise doesn't go any deeper than the surface. It's like a sugar-coated treat, sweet at first, but lacking any real substance once you bite into it. You can usually sense when someone is giving you a compliment just to get something out of you. It's forced. It doesn't feel earned or sincere, and it leaves you questioning their true intentions. They'll say things like, "You're the best at what you do," or "I don't know how I'd manage without you," but it rings hollow because there's no follow-up, no connection. It's not about you as a person, it's about keeping you in a place where you're useful to them. These kinds of people are often strategic with their compliments. They know exactly what to say to make you feel good, to stroke your ego, but their praise is designed to manipulate, not uplift. They're not interested in your growth or success, only in keeping you within arm's reach so that when they need something, you'll feel inclined to help. Compliments for them are like currency. They invest a little, hoping to get something much bigger in return. What's dangerous about this kind of superficial praise is that if you're not careful, you can start to believe it. You can start to crave those compliments because at first they sound nice. We all want to be appreciated, to be recognized for our efforts. But with time, you realize their words are empty. There's no real admiration behind them, no true respect. It's all a facade to keep you engaged, to make you think they care more about you than they actually do. And then you start to notice the disconnect. Their praise never aligns with their actions. They'll say you're important to them, but when it comes time to show up, whether it's celebrating your wins or supporting you through challenges, they're nowhere to be found. Their admiration is spoken, but never acted upon. That's when it becomes clear their words were never meant to lift you up. They were meant to keep you around, to keep you invested in a relationship that only benefits them. True praise, real admiration comes with depth. It's not just words, it's backed up by actions. When someone genuinely admires you, they show it. They don't just flatter you when it's convenient. They support you, they challenge you to be better, and they stand by you when things aren't easy. Superficial praise, on the other hand, is fleeting. It's meant to serve the person giving it, not the one receiving it. You deserve more than empty words. You deserve genuine recognition from people who value you for who you are, not just what you can do for them. Don't be swayed by shallow compliments. Look for those who show their admiration through consistency, support, and real connection. Inconsistent communication is a hallmark of someone who isn't truly invested in you, but only in what you can offer. These people have a way of vanishing when things get tough, when you need support, or when you're not offering something they find useful. Yet, the moment they need something from you, they reappear, acting as if they've been there the whole time, pretending like the gap in communication never happened. It's a frustrating and disheartening experience, especially when you've been loyal and consistent with them. You might notice that when things are going well for you, when you're successful, or when you don't need anything from them, these people are strangely absent. They won't be there to celebrate your victories, and they certainly won't offer a hand when you're struggling. Their silence speaks volumes. It's as if your life, your challenges, and your achievements don't matter unless they can directly benefit from them. When the tables are turned, however, and they find themselves in need, they have no problem reaching out. Suddenly, they're texting, calling, and trying to reconnect. They come back into your life, not with concern or interest in how you've been, but with a favor to ask. And they act like nothing's changed, as if the gap in communication didn't happen. They'll talk to you like you're still close, like they've been there for you all along. But the truth is, they only show up when there's something in it for them. The inconsistency becomes even more clear when you look at how they respond to your needs. When you try to reach out during a difficult time, they're nowhere to be found. Your messages go unanswered, your calls are ignored, and if they do respond, it's often delayed and half-hearted. It's clear they're not prioritizing you, but they'll expect you to prioritize them when they're in need. This kind of behavior creates an imbalance in the relationship, leaving you feeling undervalued and taken for granted. You give your time, energy, and attention, but you don't receive the same in return. They're using the relationship as a convenience, stepping in when they can gain something and stepping out when you need support or when they're not benefiting. It's a one-sided dynamic that leaves you drained and frustrated. The truth is, consistent communication is a reflection of genuine care and interest. When someone truly values you, they don't disappear during tough times. They don't only show up when they need something. They're present in your life because they care about you, not just what you can do for them. When someone's communication is inconsistent, it's a sign that their intentions are likely self-serving. Don't be fooled by their sudden reappearances when they need something. Real relationships aren't about convenience, they're about being there for each other through the ups and downs. It's time to recognize when someone's communication is driven by what they can get from you rather than a genuine desire to stay connected. You deserve relationships where the communication is consistent, mutual, and meaningful. No reciprocity in a relationship is one of the most disheartening experiences you can endure. You find yourself pouring your heart, time, and energy into someone who rarely, if ever, gives anything back. It's a one-way street where you're constantly giving, and yet the other person walks away with everything they wanted while you're left feeling depleted and unappreciated. This imbalance can be emotionally exhausting, leading to feelings of resentment and frustration. At first, you may not even notice this lack of reciprocity. You might think you're building a connection, that you're nurturing a friendship or a partnership. You give your support during their hard times, lend a listening ear when they need to vent, and celebrate their achievements as if they were your own. You do this out of kindness, out of a genuine desire to be there for someone you care about. But then you start to notice the pattern. When it's your turn to seek support or share your struggles, they're absent. Their responses are minimal or completely lacking, and you realize they aren't willing to reciprocate the energy you've invested. It's like you're carrying the weight of the relationship alone. You put in the effort to maintain the connection, to uplift them, to support them through their challenges. Yet, when you need a favor, when you seek encouragement, they act as if they have no time for you. They may respond with vague platitudes or simply ignore your needs altogether, leaving you feeling like an afterthought. This inconsistency becomes a painful reminder that their investment in the relationship was never genuine. You start to question yourself, wondering if you're asking for too much or if perhaps you're being unreasonable in your expectations. But deep down, you know that genuine relationships require a balance of give and take. When one person constantly takes without giving, it creates a toxic dynamic that drains you emotionally. You may even find yourself feeling guilty for wanting more, for desiring a connection that feels equitable and fulfilling. What makes it even more frustrating is that they often don't even realize the impact of their actions. They might genuinely believe they're being supportive or that their occasional gesture is enough to compensate for their absence. But you know better. You see the imbalance clearly, and it weighs heavily on your heart. Ultimately, you deserve relationships where the energy flows both ways. You deserve connections with people who value you enough to invest in you, to celebrate you, and to support you just as you do for them. No one should feel like a backup option or a convenience. If someone consistently fails to reciprocate, it's time to reassess the relationship. You have the right to seek out those who recognize your worth, who appreciate your contributions, and who are eager to engage in a partnership built on mutual respect and genuine care. Life is too short to be caught in a cycle of giving without receiving, and it's essential to surround yourself with those who uplift you as much as you uplift them. In closing, it's vital to recognize the patterns that drain our energy and compromise our self-worth. We've explored the signs: those who only come around when they need something, those who offer superficial praise without sincerity, and those whose communication fades when times get tough. These relationships are often imbalanced, leaving you feeling depleted while they walk away with everything they sought. But remember, you deserve more. You deserve connections built on genuine reciprocity, where support flows both ways and where your worth is recognized and celebrated. Life is too short to settle for relationships that don't uplift you. Seek out those who truly value you, not just for what you can do, but for who you are. Stand firm in your worth and let go of the ones who only take. Surround yourself with those who are there for you through thick and thin, and watch how that changes your world. Thank you.